This is tomorrow's transfers today. We're going to be cutting through the bullshit to give you the news that you're going to be seeing in and around the newspapers tomorrow, a day early. How could you not like that? I'm always thinking about likes. Give the video a like. Nice one. Righty then, here's what's on the agenda for us to talk tonight. We've got a little bit of a new name. Not sure if anyone else has spoken about this one already, but Lenglet. We're going to be talking about Jose Mourinho. We are going to be talking about remarkable 2007. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview. It's not remarkable. Talking about Willian. Left backs being happy. And potential striker. And then a Fred injury update. And that's the order, the running order for tonight, if you like. Let's get stuck straight into it. So let's talk about the first one then. Lenglet. You might remember Lenglet because he had a pretty good game against us when Sevilla knocked us out. Remember that? I remember that. Can't forget it. So from France, they're saying United today have initiated contact with the player's clan. And they're saying L'Equipe says United have bought strongly into the Lenglet situation. There have been rumours of interest previously, but the French newspaper pushed Jose Mourinho's club as a real option. Barcelona are the side who've been most linked with him. And whilst initially there was a potential replacement for Umtiti, now it's something different. Umtiti obviously re-signed his contract or signed an extension with Barcelona. Sounds like United are still in the market. Now, is Lenglet someone that we're looking at because we think that Alderweireld is going to be too expensive, which is a pretty good assumption to make when you're dealing with Tottenham Hotspur? Or is he someone that's, on a list? I always say, don't I think that there's a list all the time. You see players, multiple players on a list that all sort of play the same position. You're not going to get all of them. I think you're going to get one of them. So is Lenglet number 2 on the list? Was Alderweireld number 1? That's going to be something that remains to be seen, I think. So that is number 1 for us to talk about. Now, the second one for us to talk about, let me just read the headlines. This is Team Talk trying to parrot OK Diario. I'm not sure if that's a Spanish newspaper. It says there, Spanish publication. Stand corrected. So the first sentence and the second sentence totally contradict each other. Welcome to the world of shite journalism. So the first sentence, listen very carefully, maybe jot this down if you're paying attention. Manchester United boss Jose Mourinho is in talks over a return to Real Madrid this summer, according to report. Right, I'm going to say that again for those who didn't quite get it. Manchester United boss Jose Mourinho is in talks over a return to Real Madrid this summer, according to reports. Right, that's a bold statement to make, isn't it? Okay, cool. Let's see what the second sentence says. Second sentence says, Spanish publication OK Diario claims that Real Madrid chiefs have reached out to Mourinho's entourage to gauge interest in a possible return to the Bernabeu. I'll say that again for those who weren't paying attention. Spanish publication OK Diario claims that Real Madrid chiefs have reached out to Mourinho's entourage to gauge interest in a possible return to the Bernabeu. Now, gauging someone's interest and reaching out to someone to gauge their interest is a lot different from being, I'm getting correct words here, in talks, isn't it? Being in talks. If I say to you, let's just say, Michael in the comments, Michael, should we go out for a pint? That is me reaching out and gauging your interest in going for a pint. That's the step 1. I couldn't say we was in talks about going for a pint until you'd said, yeah, let's go for a pint. The talks would begin once we decided that we was going for a pint, and then we had to sort of see which pub we was going to go to. There's a massive difference between the first sentence and the second sentence here from this absolute toilet of an article. Anyway, Zinedine Zidane has bounced. I don't think it's impossible that Jose Mourinho is on a list that Real Madrid are looking at. Pretty successful campaign with them. He has gone back to somewhere that he's previously fell out with in the past. We saw that with Chelsea. So I don't think we can just completely rule it out as bullshit. I think the moves that he's putting in place at United with the appointments of Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna, they're not short-termist moves. They're the moves of a guy that actually wants to be here a little bit long-term. But you have to throw that in the mix as well and say, look, the fact he still lives at a hotel grates on me. Even if it's just 1%, it grates on me a little bit. Now, this isn't like living in a bed sit and he's got like a black and white telly at the end of his bed and he sits there eating porridge. This is a sort of hotel which is more luxurious than any house that any of us are ever going to live in ever. He's got maid service, he's got chefs, he's got all of these things at his fingertips. He's got hay fever absolutely annihilating him every bleeding night. this isn't the sort of sad picture that newspapers want to point out to you. He's surrounded by all his staff that are all living in the same place. He's at work. He's doing a job. They're probably working pretty late and this, that and the other. Wouldn't it be mad if Zidane turned up at United to be the United boss and Jose Mourinho went back to Madrid? How mad would that be? Or how funny would it be with all of these people that they're linked to? Pochettino, Conte, Klopp even, Lowe. If they ended up with Wenger. So I can't rule it out entirely. I can't rule it out because I think it makes a bit of sense for every party involved. So I can't rubbish it. What I can rubbish is, no, I'm not going to call it, it's hay fever, and it's the same time every night, and it's a nightmare when I'm trying to do these videos. So I apologise. This is what I'm sniffing up all the time. I can't completely rule it out. Right, something I can completely rubbish, because I like doing that, man. So it's the MEN. The remarkable 2007 parallels that will give Manchester United fans hope. What are these remarkable parallels, Manchester Evening News? It's more than a decade since that night in Moscow. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know. And while winning the Champions League may seem a long shot for United these days after being dumped out of the competition by Sevilla in the last 16, that's not stopped United fans dreaming. Not only of closing the gap on rivals City in the Premier League, but also of making an overdue statement in Europe's most prestigious Yeah. Anyway, so it says, in that summer of 2007, United signed a Portuguese and a Brazilian in the opening weeks of the transfer window. We've just signed Fred and Delort. Ho, would you have it? One's French, one's Portuguese, and one's a Brazilian. Oh my God, what happens next? And we made those signings on the back of losing an FA Cup final to Chelsea, and Liverpool lost the Champions League final to Milan. Now, oh yeah, bit of a coincidence. Was it article worthy? Fucking no, it wasn't article worthy. Do you know what also happened that summer? We was the English champions. We'd added Michael Carrick to a team that was absolutely glistening with potential. We had a young Ronaldo that we knew was going on to something special this season. We had Wayne Rooney that was absolutely tear-arsing around the world. We had Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs giving experience and leadership. We had a back four that already had Nemanja Vidic, Rio Ferdinand and Patrice Evra, and we already had Edwin van der Sar. Don't fucking try and compare what we've got at the moment to what happened in 2007 when Ferguson was putting the final touches to one of the greatest football teams that English football's ever fucking seen by saying that signing a backup right back from Porto and a substitute midfielder from Brazil is anything fucking like what happened in 2007, you absolute shit rag. Willian. Right, this is in the Express, and they're saying Willian would be the perfect fit for United, but Chelsea will not make the same mistake as they did with Nemanja Matic. And that is the opinion of ESPN pundit Shaka Hislop. They're saying Willian's been linked with a move to United in recent weeks. The winger's future at Stamford Bridge is in doubt after he confirmed he wasn't happy with his game time under Conte. Conte himself could be on his way out. We've spoken about this one quite a few times, haven't we? That what's going on at Chelsea is very likely to affect transfers, not necessarily just what's happened with the management situation at Chelsea and who's going to be the manager next season and who's coming in to be the manager and where this guy's going and all the rest of that kind of shit. Roman Abramovich might not even be the Chelsea owner by the start of next season. The issues that's going on with him and his UK visa, the fact that he wants to pull his money out of Chelsea is a massive thing and could have far-reaching implications for both Chelsea and the Premier League. So I think they're onto something with Willian, and I think Willian's got a decent chance of becoming a United player. But, like we said, so much stuff's up in the air. Certainly not going to happen now. We are a week away from the World Cup. That guy's going, so it's going to be a long summer. Right, the Independent are saying that this is this is getting copied by all the other newspapers. United's transfer news, Jose Mourinho to prioritise signing a new striker over a left-back. Can I say, I sincerely hope not. That we've got strikers. We've got strikers. We've got Romelu Lukaku. We've got Anthony Martial potentially for another couple of months, maybe. We've got Marcus Rashford scoring an absolute ping of a goal tonight. We're all right in the striking department. We're not all right in the left-back department. I hope this is just some mad rumour. So what they're saying is Mourinho's unlikely to sign a left-back this window and is more concerned devoting that area of his budget as a backup to Lukaku. I honestly hope this is just conjecture. United have long-standing interest in both Sandro and Kieran Tierney, and with Luke Shaw repeatedly struggled to assert himself, the manager is expected to push for an upgrade. The Independent has now been told that Mourinho is prepared to put off a signing in that area and stick with Shaw and first choice Ashley Young, the latter of whom was one of United's best performers last season. Can we stop the propaganda about Ashley Young? He had an excellent game against Liverpool. The rest of the games, he was not great. He dilly-dies on the ball too much. He slows the play down when moving forward. He cannot let go of the ball quick enough for us. He slows down Manchester United's attack and he is vulnerable as a defensive fullback. There are plenty of issues with Ashley Young, and anybody that can play left-back is an upgrade on Ashley Young. Let's not sabotage another season for Manchester United. We haven't got Fellaini. There's no one there at the back post anymore. Let's forget about them crosses. Let's leave them in 2017, all right? United need a left-back. We desperately need a left-back. I hope this isn't correct. And finally, the Brazilian team doctor talking about Fred's ankle trauma. Here's what he said. So the Brazilian team got quite scary training yesterday in London on Thursday afternoon. Yesterday, it's tomorrow's papers today, isn't it? That's what it's all about. The soon-to-be United signing was hurt in a challenge by Real Madrid player Casemiro, who went strongly after the ball and ended up getting Fred's right foot on the way. If you see the photo, the close-up of it, it goes right through his Achilles. Coincidentally, the national team doctor had a press conference scheduled after the training session. He answered a couple of questions. He says, it all depends on the answer tomorrow. If tomorrow he continues to be in pain and the signal makes us more alert, we may need imaging examination, so take him for a scan. But there is no strategy whether it will be here or in Austria. Tomorrow we have a clearer possibility. He has ankle trauma, but it's too early for any evaluation. He's already begun recovery work. He had that part in real pain. It's early for any diagnosis we will make for more. The 24 hours are crucial. Tomorrow we will see how he feels, how he responds, and whether he will train or not. I don't think it's going to be something that affects a transfer. It might affect the opening game of the World Cup for Fred or Fredge. And also the correct pronunciation for those of you interested is Delo. It's like a French sounding thing rather than the hard Portuguese Delot that we've all been saying. So it's Delo and it's Fredge. It's clearly going to be Fred from now on. Because you know what? Maybe it's cultural appropriation to take other people's pronunciations of their local language. We are now in Manchester where the culture would call you Fred. Alright, son? Happy days. So United confirmed that they've agreed the deal. They're going on to the rest of the sort of stuff. We haven't announced it yet, but as far as I'm concerned, I think we've reached an agreement with both the club and the player. So I'm not sure what the hold-up is. It could be a work permit thing, waiting for that to go through, and then it'll be announced. I don't think it's going to put the transfer in jeopardy. There you go. That is us for tonight. Let's see what you fellas are saying in the comments. Paul says we wouldn't need Pogba to track back and defend so much if he had a decent left back. Correct. Get him up to Carrington, says Lee. I don't think that's going to happen at all, to be honest with you. I think now he's with the Brazilian squad. That's going to be the one. Give Shaw a year or more and buy another left back. He doesn't like him. He's not going to play him. Luke Shaw's career is going to fall back even further if he stays, so he might as well just go. Man like Fridge, says Nishan. MEN wrote an article on Delo's FIFA rating compared to Valencia's. Unbelievable, isn't it? Honestly, if we had better fullbacks, the chances we create would be at least 10 points more. New right winger that can cross is vital. Think what we can do with service. Do you know what? Crosses are so important, even in this day and age of football. And there is not enough good crosses out of there. When you watch Lukaku's movement when crosses are coming into the box, if he can get 1 versus 1 with a defender, he wins 70, 80, 90% of them. He's so good 1v1. The only chance that Lukaku gets is when he gets sandwiched in between two players. That's the only chance you've got of stopping him when it's two defenders. And even against two defenders, he's pretty good. He's still getting 40, 50% of those headers. Someone who could cross consistently, first time, get to the byline, round, and allow Lukaku to come onto a ball, and you're going to see Lukaku get over 30 goals. Not a problem. Cal says, will Ronaldo leave Madrid this season? No, I would put my house on it. Look, at some point, he's going to leave Madrid, isn't he? He's going to leave Madrid at some point, whether it's to retire or to move to another club. That day will come at some point. But in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, every single summer, Ronaldo, I want to leave Real Madrid. What's that, new contract? Yeah, sound. Give me the pen. Every single summer. Don't fall for it. Don't feed into the guy's ego. He's a Real Madrid guy. Done. He beat the Scousers, or he helped beat the Scousers for us in May. Sound. Move on. He's not coming home. That's where he lives. That's what the team is all about. He's been there longer than he was here. Forget about him. Forget about all that sort of stuff. Done. Please don't sign Arnautovic. No comment. Darren says, I have a feeling Fred is in the new home kit and we're unveiling both. Or Brazil don't want it confirmed until they're out of England. Yeah, I think there's a possibility that the Brazilian team have asked us not to confirm it yet because of the preparations for the World Cup. Didn't matter what Liverpool did because they're a small club and no one cares. And also because Fabinho wasn't in the World Cup squad. So there could be something to do with that. I think it could also, and it's probably more to do with the work permit. As soon as his work permit comes through, United have probably got all of the stuff ready to just post it. I reckon that's more likely. Ollie says Ronaldo is like 34 and they want 175 million. Here's the problem, man. Woodward would probably do it. Ronaldo wants to leave in 2019, breaking news. Yep. Bale update. I haven't seen anything on Bale. I think that one, because he's not at the World Cup, is probably more likely to happen over the next few weeks than any of the ones that we've already been linked to. Lads that are going to the World Cup. Mourinho and Ronaldo can't work together, so Mourinho goes to Real. Ronaldo returns to United. They're playing 4D chess. No. Our midfield is failing because they have to pick up the ball from the back. Yeah, I think that's the case. And I think there's a Liverpool fan in the comments claiming that they're bigger than United. Okay, Flower, whatever you say. Yeah, it is. Because they have to come so far back, they can't get forward and get into decent positions. It's also not the fact that they have to come back. It's the speed at which the ball moves from back to front for United. If you look at some of the best goals from anywhere in any club, you look at the amount of times that they're in behind the defence and then ask yourself, how often do you see United getting in behind the defence? Our build-up play is so slow, it allows the opposition to set themselves and to start picking up their men. You have to hit a team in transition. That's when they're at the most disarray, and that's when you can get the most gaps. And we don't do that, we're too slow. We should sign Rose. I think he went hard for him in January. We didn't get him, obviously. Any truth to the Alderweireld rumours? Yeah, there is truth that we definitely want the guy. I know this, that we're definitely in for the guy, but whether or not you can get a deal done with Daniel Levy is another thing altogether. We won't have Ronaldo and Sanchez. We won't have Ronaldo, mate. Top and bottom of that. Just forget about it. David Silvernis says, forget trying to dominate Liverpool in midfield next season. Why? Doesn't matter. They've made a couple of good signings on the face of things. One, you've got to see how them signings settle in. We know this ourselves. And you've got to see if they're going to fit in with Jurgen Klopp's system. Not everybody who signs been a worldie, have they? We need someone who can drive forward. Yep, well, that's one of the things that Fred does. Rose or Sandro? I don't know, actually. If we keep Herrera, no real reason to sign another centre mid. I don't think we're going to keep Herrera. Play Lukaku on the right, play Rashford through the middle. Lukaku drifts out to the right and he does good work there because they're not expecting him to be there, but he's not a right winger. He doesn't have the energy to play what a right winger is required to do and cover the ground what right winger is required to do. He finds gaps out there and he gets in behind the defender there, but he couldn't do the up and down that's required of an actual right-sided forward. Donald Trump in the comments, and you got much better shit to do, says just like it took Salah time to settle. Okay, some people can hit the ground running, sometimes it needs people to settle. People are different. Doesn't mean every signing that you get's going to be an instant success. You don't even know if Salah's going to, one, be there next season, and two, have a good season. You have no idea. Signed Bonucci instead of Alderweireld from Tottenham. He has experience. Bonucci's the sort of dark maniac that I think we really need, you know. Right, I think we're going to wrap it up there. We've waffled on plenty. There's loads of stuff on Full Time Devils, so make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. You need to go and check out the phone in. We've got Webby and Sam just answering calls for half an hour. It's a banger of a video. Go and check it out after this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.